Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be cracking into a build guide for the AKM and the AKM IN because they have identical parts and they're pretty much, with the difference of a couple of points of ergonomics and whatnot, they're pretty much the exact same gun. So, what we're going to start off with, guys, we're just going to run you through all the different parts and then we're going to show you guys the sort of base level AK that you can build versus the sort of max and slot one and how the recoil is actually sort of changed by adding all these different parts. Okay, so to run over the parts here, guys, we are starting off with the Zukov S stock, the RK3 pistol grip here, the PDC, because it gives a little bit more ergonomics than the rest of the dust covers with mounts, the CMRD Keymod handguard for AK, the Strike Industries Keymod 6-inch guide, the RK2 foregrip, and also an optional one we've chucked on here is the sort of HoloSun tactical device on a 2.1-inch Keymod guide. And then also, again, for the compensator, we're using the Lantac Dragon, which is the best one for 7.62 weapons. Alright guys, so it's a new day. Unfortunately, Tarkov servers were being a little bit kind of funky, so we had to build our guns on a different day. But what we've got now, guys, is we have the different two AKs sitting in our inventory here. We're going to go in, put 30 rounds on target, and show you guys the sort of close range, medium range, and then long range of these weapons, and sort of a little bit of a comparison. So firstly, guys, we're going to start off with the base AK here, just to sort of show you guys how much we actually end up cutting the recoil down, because it is quite a bit. If you guys have fired this weapon before, you will probably know that. So for this one here, we're actually going to start at the very bottom of the target there, just sort of hovering around that line. Again, with the other recoil tests we've done, guys, just picking up the mouse. So you can see up close, pretty much, if you're aiming roughly center of mass, that's a fairly controllable burst from this range here. Compare that, though, to brand new shiny gun. We're going to start down the bottom. Again, pretty much aiming at the same spot. And you can really clearly see here, guys, with these two, that the grouping pattern up the top is initial. The kick is really, really high, so you end up jumping quite far, which weirdly has actually helped me out quite a few times because I've ended up jumping from chest to head. But you can see a lot more controllable. Our sort of spray pattern was roughly in that area for the modded out AKM, so definitely a massive, massive improvement. Alright, so moving on to the mid-range target here, guys. We're going to be doing the same thing, holding on the bottom of the target, and then I'll just wait for it to swing back up. So you can see with no recoil control, we pretty much hit only a few shots on the upper side of the target here, and a lot of them just go completely over its shoulder and into the back wall there. However, with the modded out version, guys, you can see even at this distance here, we're holding fairly central here. Now, you guys have probably already figured out that at this range here, the AKM is going to be pretty much completely useless. So even with a little bit of recoil control on this one, see how well I can do this. Even with trying to actually control the recoil on that, you can see it's just jumping around far too much to be able to keep it on target at anything around about, above about 10 meters. So finally, guys, with the AKM fully modded out here, we're going to give this a crack as well. And you can see at this range with a little bit of recoil compensation, it's quite easy to still stay on target. Now, this is probably the maximum range you're going to be full autoing anyone with this gun. Anything past here, you're probably just going to be, using this on single fire mode and just. And again, you can see that's fairly easy to keep relatively on target when you're single firing as well. So a good alternative to this, guys, to cut down your recoil quite a bit more is actually to just sub in the really, really important parts for this. So mainly being a foregrip and being the stock and compensator. Now, the regular compensator that comes on this is absolute garbage, so you definitely want to be replacing that. But you also want to be mounting a foregrip somehow. And now, quite a good way of doing that is either using the CAA for sort of foregrip for AK compatible systems, or using the B10. Now, these are two ones that you get from Skier very, very early on, so they're quite easy ones to use the mod. And typically, one of my budget builds for this gun is going to look a little something like this. You can just leave the stock as is if you're really trying to go sort of really go base level with this. So typically though, I'll put the Zukov stock on, and then I'll also put the Lantak Dragon like this. So this is actually a fairly comparable sort of recoil control to the other one. And then again, if you're trying to just go budget, just chuck that little sort of mount there on, and put the slide on top of that. Now, just in terms of sort of price cut with this, we end up around about 137,000. So you're saving around about 60,000 rubles for the exchange of about, I think we ended up around about 65 versus 72. So it's around about 7 recoil you lose for getting about 60k extra in return. So pretty worthwhile if you guys are considering a budget build. Alright guys, well that's it for the video. If you want to become part of the community, make sure you guys jump down into our community Discord. I also stream live over on Twitch as well, so you can come and chat with all the boys over there if you guys do want to. Also, obviously I post videos here as regularly as I can. If you guys like one specific style of video on my channel, make sure to let me know so I can build some more of them. It's really, really helpful to hear you guys' feedback. I'm a very new channel. I'm still trying to sort of find my way on YouTube. So any sort of tips and tricks you guys have, make sure to sort of let me know in the comments so I can, so I can put out some better stuff for you guys. But thanks for hanging around today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you around on the next one.